Good afternoon, everybody. Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is July 11th, 2026. And I have another piece of information I want to share together with the twin tornadoes and the twin earthquakes and all of this that is leading up to the feast day of the prophet Elijah. So here what we have is a timeline of twin events leading to the feast day of the prophet Elijah, July 20th, 2026. We do not know what is going to happen this day. We're not saying that this is going to be the day of the rapture or anything like that. And even though we're also watching September 11th, we don't know if the Feast of Trumpets is going to be the rapture either. But we have all the signs that we are watching that are connecting with 9/11 and the Feast of Trumpets. And we also have these signs that are connecting to July 20th. Which is the feast day of the prophet Elijah. So as we had been talking about the birth process, which when you consider the fact that June 11th to July 20th is 40 days, okay, so we have a birth process, and on June 11th, there were twin tornadoes in Illinois, okay, twin tornadoes. 13 days later, June 24th, twin earthquakes in Venezuela. This was the feast day of St. John the Baptist. 13 days later, we have twin dams that broke in Guangxi province in China. 2 dams were breached on July 7th, okay, during Typhoon Maisak, causing severe flooding. Another interesting situation here is they've already declared 39 dead, 9 missing. Okay, 39 dead. Now 39 seconds apart. June 24th was connected to the number 39. Lionel Messi turned 39 on this day also. And then if you go 13, 13, and 13, it's also 39 days connected to July 19th, which is the end of the World Cup. So all of this, we've seen signs on all of these days connected also to the World Cup. But these are twin events, twin tornadoes, twin earthquakes, and twin dams that are breaking on July 7th. And then 13 days later is the feast day of the prophet Elijah. Now, when you consider the fact that this is the twins, and you have the 2 witnesses, this was the feast day of St. John the Baptist, and this is the feast day of the prophet Elijah. See, the coming of the 2 witnesses is the message that I am seeing in this, the arrival of the 2 witnesses. So, Malachi 4:6 says, He will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Before the great and terrible day of the Lord, Elijah will return. Jesus talked about John the Baptist as being the Elijah who was to come. He was not Elijah in person, reincarnate, because he said, no, I am not Elijah, but he came in the spirit and the power of Elijah, a voice of one crying in the wilderness. And so John the Baptist is connected to the prophet Elijah, the 2 witnesses. Thus, the twin tornadoes, twin earthquakes, twin dams, and the 2 prophets of God. Now, all of this is connected to 1260 days, as we shared earlier today, from the Turkey earthquakes on February 6, 2023. The twin earthquakes in Turkey, 7.8 and 7.5 to 7.7, twin earthquakes. And then we have the twin earthquakes in Venezuela. And if we count all the way to the feast day of the prophet Elijah, it's 1260 days after the Turkey earthquakes. So all of this, it's not just a timeline that started on June 11th. This goes way back, and it's connecting, and it's leading, and it's showing how all of this twin earthquakes, what could possibly happen here on the feast day of the prophet Elijah. Something major is being planned, not by them, but by God. So I also looked into this information about the floods that released about 900 snakes. I saw the report on another channel and just sparked my attention. They had mentioned that there were 900 cobras that were released. And I looked into it, and there's about 900 snakes escaped from flooded breeding farms. This is a number one area in China where they breed snakes. But the 900 snakes included cobras, king rat snakes, kraits, green pit vipers, and other venomous species. They were not 900 just cobras. Okay? And if you have a snake in your area, do not approach them. Anti-venom has been distributed to local hospitals. So be careful if you are in the area of the China dams that have been breached. But I mean, when you consider all of this and the arrival of the Antichrist and the beast and the serpent, and remember, China is connected to the dragon. China, the dragon, 900 snakes. So July 7th, 6th and 7th, there was heavy rain as the typhoon Misak moves inland. July 7th, 2 reservoirs breached, overtopped. So this is the exact timeline. See, the importance of this is not just that they're twin dams, but they happened on the day they were supposed to happen based on this. 13 days, 13 days, 13 days. Okay. Floodwaters rush into towns and villages. Snake farms are destroyed and 900 snakes escape. Here's the information on the 1260 days from the biblical pattern. And the big picture is that there are twin events on 13-day intervals. And it brings us to a 1260-day mark on July 20th, 2026. Are these just coincidences? Or God's timeline unfolding before our eyes? Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come. I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.